Great morning, great morning, great morning. I am Nicole D. Jones, and I am just happy and grateful for another day. I'm happy and grateful for life. I say it every week. Let me put this where I can see all right. I don't take days for granted. I don't take life for granted. I don't take you for granted. I believe that every day is predestined, is preordained. Nothing happens by chance to Jehovah God, just to us. So for every day, I am grateful. I will come every week and I will remind you that you are healthy, you are wealthy, and you are prosperous. Everything that your hands go to touch, it must, it shall, and it will manifest, prosper, and grow great things because you are great. You are not created to be perfect, but you are created to continue to pursue, continue to chase purpose, continue to be the best version of you unapologetically, as long as you're doing it through a posture and submission, never arrogance and pride. Jehovah God is pleased, okay? So I wanted to come on today and I don't know about y'all, but this whole relational intelligence thing, I have to be honest with you because we've been doing this for a while, and I mean if we might even be going into 2 months. So if you have missed anything, go back to the YouTube. I am Nicole D. Jones and catch up. All right. Listen, with emotional intelligence and relational intelligence, because it's more the relational intelligence that I'm focusing on, but the two go hand in hand. And if I'm honest with you guys, going into the month of August, July has been rough. So, July is the month that at this point, we are putting people in the right buckets and the right categories with ourselves. And we are now, being our number one cheerleader. We are our best advocate, right? We're finding our voice. We're learning to love us. We're doing all these things. But I'm gonna tell y'all what we can't stop, because I told y'all we gotta respect time, even if we don't agree with it. Life has been lifing, all right? So when that happens and we're in this relational intelligence, everything that we go through, it's a cause and an effect situation, all right? So this is the thing for me. I just have to be honest with y'all, because if I expect for these calls to be a safe place for you, then how dare they not be a safe place for me? Okay. So transparent moment. July's been kind of rough. And it's funny because, I haven't been feeling my best. But one thing that I know for me, my body always tells me where I am, even if I don't recognize it, okay, consciously. So this weekend, this weekend, my body locked up on me, all right? I got a tension knot in my lower back. It had to be at least the size of my hand, easy. Man, I look like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, whatever, Notre Dame is in my lower back. And then it got to the point where I couldn't get up. Now, that's the natural side of me, okay? So in dealing with this whole relational intelligence, I'm grateful that I'm learning to put things in perspective and in the right space. So I lock up, I can't move, got to get these biofreeze, the whole little, the machine on it or whatever, trying to break it up, break it down, heating pad, all of this, right? But in my mind, I'm like, you know what? This is natural. This is just the natural. This is the shell of me, okay? It is not who I am. I say it all the time. We're spirit with a soul wrapped in this flesh, but we got to learn to pay attention to us, okay? So at this point, I can't move, all right? So what am I going to do? Am I going to lay there and just be toe up from the floor up and murmur and complain? No, I choose to worship, all right? I choose to take that time to seek God. I choose to talk to him, okay? See, and this is the thing. I said, God is not looking for us to be perfect, all right? how you choose to talk to Jehovah God. Y'all do understand that conversation, talking, relational intelligence is communication. It's prayer. It's whatever you want to call it. But when you're in a place and a posture of being locked up, can't move, toe up from the floor up, what posture are you going to take regardless to what your natural posture says? I choose spirit. Whew. So listen, I had to remember that Jesus is the ultimate expression of relational intelligence. So I have this relationship with Jehovah God. I choose to talk to him while my physical body couldn't move this weekend. All right. And let me tell you the revelation I had to get about me. July was hard. The beginning of July, and this is all emotional. This is all personal. This is all that we go through as life is lifing that we can kind of overlook because we go in this overdrive mode when life starts lifing. All right. So the beginning of the month, there were situations that were handled and I didn't necessarily like the way that they were handled. So here goes these emotions that I got to deal with. But in the moment, you take these things and you try to deal with them and handle them accordingly. So you deal with that and you keep yourself in a place that you think is healthy and all of that. And you learn to agree to disagree. And you can communicate on a level and a posture where no one's offended. All right, boom, you get through that. Then my uncle dies. Less than 72 hours, but then less than 24 hours in the moment that he actually wakes up and I get to hear an inkling of his voice. By that evening, he had expired. I'll never hear him again. So even with that, the last thing that I'm having to deal with is how he sounded on that Thursday. Voice is how I know how his voice really sounds. This is all emotional, okay? This is all the mindset and the trauma and the things that we go through in our mind. All right. So then that's at least week 2. I don't know. So then in the next week, because I think July may have 5 weeks. Like, listen to this. The enemy will sit up and add more days in a month because he think he's going to kill, steal, and destroy you. Not so. So, okay, now I have to deal with my family. Then I have to deal with losing a family member that's very close to me. Then I got to deal with the emotions that come around that. Then I got to go home. Then I choose to stay there. Then I got to fight and face Sodom and Gomorrah. Then I got to deal with relationship issues. I got to deal with spiritual things. I got to be true to me because remember, we're in this season where we're learning relational intelligence. We're learning emotional intelligence. So I'm trying to be a good steward over my soul. I'm trying to put everything into practice that we talk about. But life is lifing. So I go through this with my family. Then I lose a family member. And please understand, I am not murmuring and complaining. Sometimes we got to serve notice on what's really going on so that we can deal with it in the healthiest way that we know how. So now I'm in Texas. So now I got to deal with things with my mom. I got to deal with things with my family. I got to deal with things. I got to face my journey. Okay? Good, bad, or indifferent. It just is what it is. Every day is great, but it's up to me to keep it that way. But you can't keep it great without dealing with the things you got to deal with. All right? I'm telling you this today because if I was dealing with it in the healthiest way, if I was being a good steward, the best that I could, my back wouldn't have locked up on me. Listen, sometimes things have to happen for you to learn to just sat down, all right? Because literally, I went from being home, speaking at the service, I did the tribute. I think that's what it's called. I spoke on behalf of my uncle, all right? On behalf of the family, all of that. Then it makes me think about I had to do it with my grandmother. I didn't have to do it. I was honored. I was blessed to be able to do it with grandma. I was blessed to be able to do it with my dad. I was blessed to be able to do it with my uncle. It is not a task. It's a blessing. I am grateful that my family trusted my heart and their heart with me. So here's the thing. All these things are going on. And while life is lifing, you get through everything the best way you know how. But somewhere in it all, I wasn't doing the best that I could do. My body had to shut me down. See, here's the thing. We know that the battle is in the mind, okay? So there are things that we just gotta, as we go through stuff, we're fighting the battle, we're fighting the war in our mind. But there's this subconscious mind that's still sucking in everything that we feel, sucking in the things that we don't speak of. And that is the heart of us. So there's a point where we gotta kind of fine tune, we gotta cleanse, we gotta purge these places. And when we don't recognize it, because I flew into Texas, drove back from Texas, drove back in enough time to go into service where I was listed to be part of prayer. And then I come home and I jump back into my life. This body said, not so, baby. So let me tell you why I'm sharing all this. Because go back, catch up to where we are in this relational intelligence, because it's a process, all right? But I'm coming on to tell you very transparently that no matter how well you think you're doing in your process, there's always hiccups and we can always do better. Because I thought I was good. Y'all know about Mean Lee. Alter ego is real. You know, I subdued Mean Lee. Mean Lee ain't show herself. She had many opportunities. So I'm thinking, pat myself on the back, I'm good. No, sir, no, ma'am. So listen, we got to learn, even in the things that we choose to have with us, all right? It's never what we go through, it's how we choose to get through it. Who has access to you and why? This is the whole reason why we're doing relational intelligence. We must know this in order for us to be able to be the best versions of us unapologetically, stepping in the steps that are predestined and preordained. So you got to learn how to do an evaluation. Y'all got to do fruit inspection, all right? We're known by the fruit that we bear. So what is the fruit that you're bearing? You got to learn how to inspect. So write this down. If you ain't got no way to write it down, go back to I'll make sure. And y'all have been good. Y'all give a sister some shout outs today. I've been putting the calls on the same day. Praise be to the Father. All right. So listen, this is what you have to know, that Jesus was the ultimate expression of relational intelligence because he knew how to handle his relationships. All right. Even with the disciples, even knowing that one was going to betray him, even knowing all these things, he is like the bomb.com. Listen, personal growth and self-development. You need a mentor. We have these mentors. All right. I'm grateful for the mentors that are in my life. Shout out to Coach Witt. Shout out to B. Burrell. Shout out. All right. Shout out David M. Monetier, Riyad Jones. All right. The ones that I don't know, John C. Maxwell, all of this. All right. But the ultimate is Jesus. All right. He's the bomb.com. He has mastered relational intelligence to give us something to mirror. Okay. Okay. He flipped out in the upper room. But y'all listen, they deserved it. All right. So listen, but here's the thing. Even with that, you've got to learn how to ask yourself specific questions so that you're not locked up. You're not going through life trying to be the best version of you and then you crash on you. I crashed on me, y'all. All right. I crashed on me. Real talk. It just is what it is. And I have to accept it. And then I got to dust myself off. I got to get back up. All right. So listen, I want y'all to understand that you got to learn how to evaluate the fruit. The fruit, the tree, what's growing off of you is dictated by what's around you, period. So who has access to you and why? But you know, I'm learning now that even with that, you can't really fully answer that till you answer these questions for yourself. All right. And this is what I want you to know about the difference between reflection and evaluation. Reflection is an internal exercise. Evaluation is an external. All right. So we reflect it like you did that internal reflection to be able to be your best cheerleader. But now we have to evaluate. Okay. That's outside. That's what's around. So I need you to ask yourself these questions. First one, where am I? Okay. When I was laying in that bed and I was in pain and I couldn't move, I had to be true to me. And I had to ask myself, where am I? Okay. Because obviously I'm not where I thought I was, because if I was, see, for me, my body does not handle stress well. My body tells me when something is wrong, regardless to how peaceful I may look, sound, or feel. My body tells me when my peace, the compass of peace is I'm not where I'm supposed to be. So the first question I had to ask myself is, where am I? Before you can evaluate someone else, it's crucial for you to know where you are. Where am I in this season in my life? Where am I emotionally? Where am I spiritually? If you don't know these things, you can't even evaluate who has access to you. Because if you're in a jacked up position, the ones that you're allowing yourself to have access to you is probably jacked up too. I ain't gonna go there. But listen, ask yourself, where am I emotionally? Where am I spiritually? Where am I financially? We ain't gotta be all deep. Where am I? Okay. Where are you realistically today in this journey? Not where you want to be, because we always are focused on vision, but where am I? All right. Number 2, what do I need? What do I need? Now, for me, I like to go sip tea. All right. I will go sit. I have some of my best relationships are waitresses, waiters that I've met. AT&T. Danielle was a rep. She's one of my closest friends. All right. She part of my 3. Cedric worked at Apple. One of my, like, he's like a nephew to me. All right. Sometimes for me, I just need healthy distraction. I'll go sip tea. I'll go sit in Panera. I'll work at Carrabba's. I'll go in there and see Garrett. I will go because it's a healthy distraction. I'm able to build relationship with this person, but it takes my mind off of what's going on with me right here. It is not family. It is not my job. It's not, I don't have to worry about having to go somewhere and now we got to talk about CDC. I don't have to worry about talking to my sister. We got to talk about mom. Healthy distractions, okay? You got to know, what do I need in this? So you got to ask yourself, where am I? Then you got to ask yourself, what do I need? Not what you think I need. What do I need to be the best version of me? All right? You got to ask yourself that. Because here's the thing. Those situations, those being relational, those, because I told y'all before, it's a difference of friendship versus the spirit of friendship. You should always be walking in the spirit of friendship. So I go in there and I show myself friendly. But this is the thing. I'm getting what I need relationally because I walk in the spirit of friendship, but it's not all that tied to me. Okay? It's not the heaviness of these buckets of these relationships that are ordained in our life, that are assigned in our life. All right. So what do I need? Next thing, once you figure that out, in what do I need, you also got to know what types of relationship, where you are right now will add the most value to you. All right. When you're thinking of what do I need, when you're thinking of relationships and people who have access to you, mainly people who have access to you, you've got to know what kind of relationship do I need to add that's going to have the most value for me. This may sound selfish. It's not selfish. All right. It's not you being selfish. It's you being a good steward over your soul. Nobody else can do it. Judgment Day, nobody else is going to be there but you. What do you need that's going to add value to you? All right. What do I have? What do I have? What do you currently have that contributes to you? Just be honest with yourself. It's okay. It's okay. Listen, when we start asking ourselves these questions, some of it'd be like, oh, Lord, Jesus. We wonder why we go through some of the things we go through. You got to be true to what we have. What do you have that's right now? All right. It's important to consider what's contributing to you. All right. Because you have to understand what is pouring into you is what you become. All right. What's pouring into you is what you become. So you got to ask yourself, what do I have? All right. And then last, what do I need? What do I need? And what do I need to do? Excuse me. What do I need to do? So this is the thing. As you go through and you're asking yourself, the last question should be, what do I need to do? Excuse me. But as you're doing this and you're asking yourself these things, right? This is the truth. You may have to realign some people. You may have to remove some people. Y'all gonna take your face off if you don't want me to see you. I can see y'all today because I want to see you. I want you to talk to me today, all right? So you might have to realign. You may have to remove. You may even have to pursue some people. Advisors. If you're in a season that you want something different financially, you may have to pursue a financial advisor. You may have to pursue. See, this is why you got to be true to you. See, I had to be true to me. All right. Obviously, I was faking the funk with my daggone self. Self-deception is the worst deception to have. If you're deceiving yourself, y'all do know that the enemy ain't even got to waste his time on you. He can go on to the next one. All right. Self-deception is the worst deception to have. And it's not that I was consciously deceiving myself, but something that I thought was some kind of way wasn't. Because if it was so, then my body wouldn't have been attacked. Even if I want to go spiritually deep and be like, oh, well, the enemy attacked me. Well, even with that, then I'm sleeping somewhere because how could he get that close? All right. Keep your eyes on you in love. Because you got to be the best version of you. All right. So here's the thing. 4 questions. All right. Where am I? What do I need? What do I have? And what do I need to do? All right. This is all for you. Okay. As we're learning relational intelligence, as we're learning emotional intelligence, you got to understand that some of us, we just don't have the capacity. Some of us just don't want to do it. But at the end of the day, for yourself, you got to do it for you. To be the best version of you, you got to put these things in place for you. All right? It's for you. So what I'm doing different this week, because I took it off. You can unmute yourself. If anybody want to say something. Oh, and let me say one more thing for all my super saints. Woo! All right. Can I just tell you that just because we Jesus lovers don't mean that we healthy relationship? All right. Let's not get this thing twisted. Just because we church together, we love Jesus together and all this other stuff. This is what turns people away from God. We look at it on a natural, like this why people don't want to go to church. No, it's the people in the church. It's us, because we are the church. That's just the building. All right. But we got to be careful. Just because I worship with you does not mean that I'm healthy relationship. Does not mean because you worship with me that you just become this in my life. No, sir, no, ma'am. Church hurt is the worst hurt to have, if the way I feel. Because we go in with an expectation, all right? Forgetting that the church is the emergency room of the hospital. We don't know what's walking in there, but we know it's going to be a need. They either broken or wounded, hurt, something, mentally off. It's a need. So I want to bust that myth, because sometimes we get so deep, we're no earthly good. Stop trying to keep your circle in with church, because your blessing may be outside. Jesus walked, he was among them all. Okay? But I ain't gonna get on that soapbox. So anybody who wants to share, ask a question, I just felt like, let me be honest with me. Because if I'm not first partaker in what I'm giving you, then I'm just tickling your ears. That ain't happening over here. So
thank you, Miss Nicole, for being transparent about where you are and to see where we are. I wanted to ask you what those questions were. You said, what do I need? What was the other one?
It's first ask yourself, where am I?
It's pump 4. Yeah.
After you ask yourself, where am I? What do I need? So what do I need? Don't feel selfish when you ask that. You're the only steward over your soul. What do I have? So when you're looking at the relationships and the ones that have access to you, you got to evaluate the fruit and be real and true about it, good, bad, or indifferent. And then what do I need to do? Do I need to realign this relationship? Do I need to remove this relationship? Or is there a relationship that I need to pursue?
Okay, thank you.
This week, that's what I want us to focus on. And it is not you being selfish. It's you being a good steward. Y'all want wealth? Y'all want wealth, riches, money, lucrative, gold, or whatever? You got to be a good steward over your finances. You want the fullness of this journey? You got to be a good steward over your soul. It's no different. All right? So if anybody have anything that they want to ask or share, text this number. Let me tell y'all what it is. Let me give y'all this number if you don't already have it. 404-800-3975. Ask anything you want to ask me there. Share whatever you want to share me there. Join that community. It'll come straight to me. It's a text. If you need to talk to me, tell me there. I give you my number, whatever. But if it's, because this is the thing, we're just learning to be the best versions of us unapologetically. We're gonna do it through a posture of submission and humility, never arrogance and pride. All right. I want you to stay focused. I want you to stay humble, and I want you to stay positive. That way you can be the best version of you, because you're relevant, you're necessary, you're needed, and no one can do what you do but you. All right? I never want to take your time. I don't want to belabor it. It's 10:31. Anything else you want to share, please do it at that number.
Can you repeat
I'm going to say it one more time. 404-800-3975. Shoot me a text. I will get it. No one else will. All right? Again, I am Nicole D. Jones, and I want you to continue to have a fantabulous rest of the day. Smooches.